Okay, this video is going to be on order of operations, naming our steps in an order of operations, and graphing, mapping, and making a table. Okay, so for this problem, order of operations is you have to do parentheses, exponents, then multiplying or dividing left to right, then subtracting and adding left to right, whichever you want. So here we go. Here we have parentheses. There's a bracket here. It's a form of parentheses. So we have to work inside of the parentheses. Now, inside of that bracket, we have to follow the order of operations as well. So we're still going to go parentheses first if there's another one like this one. So we're going to do 2 plus 3 first. So we're going to do this part right here first. So it's going to be 6, bracket still there, 32, minus, open parentheses, 5 squared, close bracket. Okay? So now, what we're going to be looking at is inside here is now, are there any more parentheses? Yes, but there's nothing going on inside, so we go to the next step, which is exponents. So now we have to do this exponent. So 5 squared leaves us with 6, open parentheses, 32 minus 25. Then close the bracket. Now, again, we're only left with one thing inside of the bracket, so now we have to do that thing. So 32 minus 25, that leaves us with 7. So now we're left with 6, bracket, 7, bracket. And now 6 next to a bracket or next to a parentheses means multiplication, so 6 times 7 is 42. All right, let's do this next one down here. Now we're left with 2 to the third power minus 5 and 15 plus 9. Now you do have to remember that both of these are in parentheses because it's all of this at the top divided by all of this at the bottom. Okay, so we're going to start with the top. So 2 to the third power is what I have to do first inside of this parentheses. So 2 times 2 times 2. That gives us 8. So now we're left with 8 minus 5 over 15 plus 9. Remember that the top and the bottom are in parentheses, even though you don't see it. Now we're going to do 8 minus 5, which leaves us with 3. So it's going to leave us with a 3 here. And now we're left with just 15 plus 9 on the bottom. So 15 plus 9, that leaves us with 24. So 3 over 24. And we can simplify that. They're both divisible by 3. This is 1/8 is our solution to this problem. Okay, so the next two we're going to do is order of operations, but you're explaining every single step using the vocabulary. Now, if you're watching this video and you don't have the vocabulary that I pass out to my students, that's fine. Try to follow along. I'll try to explain each step. So, first thing I'm going to do is order of operations. So I'm going to do parentheses first. So the 4 minus the 3. So I'm not going to write the steps. I'm just going to write what happened. So now it looks like this. 7 times 1 minus 1 plus 5 times 1/5. Okay? Well, if somebody asked me, hey, how did you get here? I would tell them I did substitution. I substituted 4 minus 3 for 1. Now the next step we're going to do is multiplication. So the 7 times the 1. So now I've left it like this. 7 minus 1 plus 5 times 1/5. Wait a minute. How did you get rid of that 1? Well, I did the multiplicative property of, the multiplicative identity. The multiplicative identity, which means I multiplied times something that doesn't change the original number. So anything times 1 is you doing the multiplicative identity. If we were doing the additive identity, it would be a number plus 0. So now we're going to have to do this portion right here. So we're going to be left with 7 minus 1 plus 1. Okay? So these two cancel each other out. Now when something cancels itself out, it's called the inverse. So here we're doing the multiplicative inverse. All right? So that's how we got here. We're always explaining how we got the information to the left. The next one is 7 minus 1, and that's going to be 6. So now I'm left with 6 plus 1. That's just substitution. I substituted the 7 minus 1 for the 6. Then the last answer here is going to be 7, and that's also substitution. I substituted the 6 plus 1 for the 7. Now we're going to do the same thing down here for this problem. Now, first thing we're going to do is 15 divided by 3. So that's going to leave us with 7 times 1/7 plus 6, and this is going to make 5 minus 5. So right here, what we did was just substitution. So I substituted 15 divided by 3 for 5. Now, I'm going to write 7 times 1/7 plus 6 times 0. Wait a minute, how'd you get that 0? Substitution? No, when you completely cancel something out like this, it's called the inverse. So this is the additive inverse. Okay, I've canceled out the 5s. Now, we're going to be doing 7 times 1/7, which is going to leave us with 1. So we've canceled out these two again. So but we multiplied this time, so that's called the multiplicative inverse. All right, then we're multiplying 6 times 0, and that makes 0. So I'm left with just 1. How did I get here? I did the multiplicative property of 0. Prop of 0. Okay? Because anything times 0 is 0, so it vanishes. Okay? We could have also done plus 0 here and then done a substitution, so we could do that. Plus 0, and then it's 1. 1 plus 0 is the additive identity, so we get to use one of those. Sorry about my writing. I promise I write nicer. All right, now we're doing express this data as a table, a graph, and mapping. So we have 2, 5. So let's graph first, because everybody knows how to graph. Remember, the first number controls left and right, and the second number controls up and down. So 2, 5, it would be 2 to the right from the center. So 2 to the right, and then 5 up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 2 to the right and 5 up. There it is. Then -2, 3. So -2 means left from the center. So 1, 2, and then 3 up. 1, 2, 3. That would be right there. The next one is 0, -2, 0. And then, so I'm not going left or right. I'm just staying in the middle. So 0, and then -2 means go down. 1, 2. That's right there. Then -1, -2 means -1 is to the left and 2 down. So I ended up right there. All right. Now we're going to draw a table. That's just X and Y and which one goes with which. So 2 goes with 5. -2 goes with 3. 0 goes with -2. And -1 goes with -2. So I just wrote all the X's here and all the Y's here. All right, domain and range. Mapping, what we're about to do right now, is writing domain, range. Now, domain means all possible X's. So you're going to write down all the possible X's. 2 is possible, -2 is possible, 0 is possible, and -1 is possible. For the range, you write down all possible Y's. Now, this is always easy to remember because sometimes people get these confused, which one's X and which one's Y. Well, they're in alphabetical order, just like X and Y. So X is first, so domain is first. Y is second, so range is second. So they're in alphabetical order, just like X and Y. So all possible Y's, 5 is possible, 3 is possible, and -2 is possible. Wait a minute, you forgot to write the other -2. No, I didn't, it's right here. -2 is possible, yes, true. 3 is possible, yes, true. 5 is possible, yes, true. So I only had to write it once. Now you just connect them. So we have 2, 5, that's this. We have -2, 3, that's this, my little arrow. Then we have 0, -2, 0, -2. And then we also have -1, -2. So this is going to go up like that. Just make sure you know. Now to reverse that, because that's what's new here, we're going to do this. What are the coordinates of this? Okay, so something very similar to what we're looking at. So the first coordinate would be 3, 2. So we know that 3, 2 is one of the coordinates. Then we have 3, 7. 3, 7. Sorry about that. Then we have 5, 7. Then we have 1, 2. Then we have 1, 7. And that's it. That's all of it. We're all done with that stuff. Okay? Understand? So that's it. Good luck.